Hey, welcome to Classic Performance. We got another barn find for you today. A 1965 Mustang, been sitting since the late 90s, and we'll show you some proof of how long it's been sitting. But what we're going to try to do is get this car running. We've drug it here to the old shop and going to do some work on it and just see how long it takes us to get it running. So we pulled this thing out of a lean-to up against a barn, and you can see the growth that we had to cut out of here. Where it was completely overtaken by vines. Got one down here that's growing up through the trim on the rocker, and the car really is in pretty good shape. Last inspection here 96, so that kind of tells a story, but it really is an overall solid car. Tires are shot on it. Interior isn't too bad. Kind of a standard non-pony interior, Cruise-O-Matic 4-speed or 3-speed Cruise-O-Matic C4 automatic transmission, and you know, just your basic Mustang. But you can see how long it's been sitting just by the condition of the tires here. And we did a little washing on it, and this is kind of the condition of the car just from whatever green stuff was growing on it. So let's open up the hood and take a look under there. 289 V8, which is great, and see if we can get the thing to roll over. We'll take a look here in the driver's side too before we get started. The DSO code on here is 22, so this is a Charlotte, North Carolina vehicle, which is good, and which might explain why it doesn't really have any rust. But you can take a look at the inside and kind of see the hornet's nests and the wasp's nests that have accumulated in it. So you know, it's been sitting for a while, but really the headliner and everything in it is not bad at all. So looking underneath the hood here, and of course here's our vine that is growing through here, but really complete. It's a, you know, no power brakes, no power steering, just a kind of a complete, very low option 289 2-barrel Motorcraft carburetor. So we're gonna throw a battery in here, and the first thing we want to do is see if we can get the engine to turn over with a starter, and it is free. We can rotate it with the fan, so that's a good sign right there. So let's get our battery, get it in there. We'll just, since we don't have any keys for it, we're going to try to maybe pick this relay and just see if we can get the starter to roll it over. All right, so we got our battery in here. This is the positive connection, and this is the negative. And there's no spark, so that tells us whenever you connect it and you touch it, if there's any spark, that means you've got some kind of a draw or short. But that'll be enough right there to power it up. I don't know which one of these. The red wire, you're going to remember this from me, Brad. The red wire goes closest to the battery. Well, I guess this one wouldn't reach anyway. So I think what we could do is just take these off and put a little voltage to the solenoid and see if we can get it to bump over. So we're going to just try to jump off the solenoid here. And what the solenoid is you got your positive lead right here, and the positive is going down to the starter. And this is basically just a big switch, if you will, like a light switch, but it's like an electromagnet that pulls up a piston that makes the hard connection between these two lines. So, you know, these things were always easy to jump off back in the day. The hood wasn't locked. There's no lock on the steering column. So you pick this relay, and I'm just going to go from the positive side of the battery to the pin, and dang thing just rolls right over. So the next task is going to be to power up the coil, and we can do that by just taking another lead and putting 12 volts to the coil and see if we get a spark. So let me grab another lead, which I've got right here, and we'll use a red one since it is positive. Hook it on the screw terminal of the hard to get on there. Hook it on the, let me get a bigger one maybe. Hook it on the screw terminal of the battery. Yeah, we'll go with the black one. Go with this black one here, it's a little bigger. All right, so we're going to put 12 volts to the coil, and that'll energize the coil as if I had the key on, but we don't have a key. So we energize the coil like that, and then pull the line off the coil, hold it right here, come back and pick our solenoid. Alright, we got no spark at all, so we're going to have to go in here and look at these points and clean the points out. So we'll just pop the tabs off that distributor. The points are probably corroded. Yeah, here's our points right here. And we can, even when we energize it, we can pick those points and see if we get a little spark there. We'll pull the rotor button off just for easier access. Get a little bit of sandpaper and we'll sand them down. So on these points right here, I'm just using a little wet, dry 3M paper. You can use like a crocus cloth or something. But I'm gonna open those points up, and I can see they're a little white and dusty, so they're probably corroded. But I just put my sandpaper in there, sand away a little bit so we can get a good connection. So every time these points open, it discharges the coil and sends the spark. So you can see kind of where I sanded that. You've got that kind of that white dusty stuff there. We'll snap them a couple times. I'm going to put, even without cranking it, I'm going to re-energize my coil, which I've done here, and just see if we get, I'm not getting a spark still from that. Maybe I'm on the wrong side of the, maybe I'm on the wrong side of the coil. That might be the ground. No, that's the, yeah, you're right. I'm on the wrong side of the coil. This is, though I didn't even look, this is the wire going to the coil. This wire here, closer in, is actually the one that we need to use to power up the coil. So this is the discharge going to. So let's do that. Still not seeing anything. That wire's going to the coil. Coming out of. All right, we're going to try it again. What I'm going to do is take this wire. Yeah, heck, I'll put the cap back on. Put the rotor back on. We'll roll it over and see if we can get a spark that way. All right, powered up on the power side from the plus on the battery. I'm going to hold my wire here, see if I get a spark out of the coil. Oops. Still got nothing coming out of there. Might have to do a little more cleaning, or you might have to get a set of points even. Let's make sure they're opening and closing. Yep, they're opening and closing. I'm going to sand them again a little bit more. All right, got our coil powered up. We've got our spark plug. I got to go close up there, as you can see. I'm just going to rock this rotor back and forth. And if you look down here where Brad's holding that thing, you can. Well, it was doing it.
It is.
It is. Yeah, it's hard to see during daylight, but you can hear and see. Hear and see the spark. So I feel confident we got a spark now. So we're going to go ahead and button it back up and try again. Okay. All right, I feel confident we got a little spark. We're going to just put a little primer of fuel in the carb right there. I'm using this is actually, because it's dark, I'm just using this is just a 2-cycle mix. Just throw a little oil in there. So let's go ahead and energize our coil again. I feel confident we've got the spark. Got the rotor button back on there, which sometimes gets forgotten. We're going to go ahead and pick our relay. There you go. All right, what we're going to do is put in a little bit more fuel. We know the thing will run, so let's see if we can get it running just a little bit longer. So just to confirm the running condition, we're going to spray a little ether in there.
Oh yeah.
And
oh yeah.
pick it again. So we're going to try to put an alternate fuel supply onto it right here with maybe a boat gas tank or something like that. So I think we can confirm that it's running well enough. All cylinders seem to be firing. Got our points cleaned, and let's see if we can get some longevity into it now. I think before we hook up an alternate fuel source, we'll just use this little funnel. You hold that right there. We'll try to prime up the carb with some fuel. Give that a try. Yeah, leave that resting right there. Then we'll put our coil back up. Pick our relay. Give it a little spray. It's wanting to shoot fuel out the...
Yeah.
All right, so we got it running pretty successfully. We pulled the fuel line off here, put a little funnel on there, put fuel into the carburetor, and it's spilling out around the top plate here. So it's not taking fuel through the carburetor, so the jets must be plugged up or something like that. So we'll see if we can pop the top off or do something quick without taking the whole thing apart, and just do a quick clean out and see if we can get it running a little bit longer. We can't keep it running. Obviously we're full of fuel here. This float was stuck in the down position, so now it's up. I've taken the screw out. We're going to pull these boosters out and just look at these jets here and clean these out with a little carb cleaner and see if we can do something. Ultimately we'll have to take this carb off and rebuild it. Yeah, this is going to require a little on the carb rebuild. We got our float out, got our boosters out, all cleaned up. The problem here is these jets. These jets are just completely filled. So we're going to take a little wire and go through there. We got the bowl pretty well cleaned out. So just a little quick cheesy on the car rebuild. All right, we got our car back together. Got fuel in it. This is our fuel line. And I'm going to hook the power back to the coil. We've got a spark. That means our points are still making contact. We'll just give it a little prime here. Kind of give it just a quick little prime in here. Just like that. And hit my solenoid and see if it'll run off the fuel that's in the carb now. Almost. running like a top. All right, so it runs off the fuel in the carb. Now all we got to do is hook the fuel line back up, and we'll have to clean the tank out and some other things like that. But man, she's running. All right, so that's our progress on getting the 65 Mustang running. It actually runs like a top. It sounds pretty good. We got to put some coolant in it. We even put it in gear, in and out of gear. The car rocks back and forth, but obviously it's not going anywhere on these tires. We got one good tire, and like I said, all the rest of them are just shot. But that's it. That's how we get them running. And stay tuned. We're going to do a little bit more with this. See if we get this thing back on the road. It needs a master cylinder, but not much else. But anyway, take care. Have yourself a great day. If you like content like this, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you as a subscriber. So take care. Have yourself a great day, and find yourself a barn find 65 Mustang.